everyone, so today we're going to be doing the 2.2 course practice pure math quiz for the periodic in week 3. So a little disclaimer, this quiz, some questions in it are not included with us. So I will be solving the entire quiz, but do know that I will be mentioning at every question that isn't with us that it's not with us, but I will solve them because so everybody knows for future videos, like for the final. Anyways, let's begin. Now, question 1, it is not required of us, but we're gonna solve it anyways. Now, this question is very long to solve, but very easy. Now, we here have a bracket with 3 values in it. Now, whenever we see 3 values, you can't actually apply binomial theorem for 3 values. So you need to group 2 values. So I'm gonna keep 1 alone and 2x minus 3x squared alone. So our new equation would be 1 plus 2x minus 3x squared as one value alone to the power of 4. Now, we need to apply binomial theorem. Binomial theorem is basically here n and here k equals 0. In this case, our n would be the exponent, which is 4, of n, which is 4, combination k times a to the power of k minus n, n minus k, which is 4 minus k, into b, which is 2x minus 3x squared, power n, which is power to k. Now, for this question, why I group 2 and 3 together, not 1 and 2 together or something like that, is because now, since 1 to the power of anything is 1, I can remove it from my equation. So I'll only have to take into consideration the combination and the 2 minus 3x squared power k. Let me just rewrite it here. Power k. So now let's begin. So we have 4 combination 0 times 2x minus 3x squared power 0. Both of these are equal to 1. So that's just 1. Plus, now I'm going to solve each one alone actually, because you'll see later why. 4 combination 1 into 2x minus 3x squared power 1. 4 combination 1 is 4 into 2x minus 3x squared equals 8x minus 12x squared. So far, very easy. Now we're gonna go on to 4 combination 2, which is 2x minus 3x squared power 2. Now we know that anything minus anything all squared, so a minus b squared, we know is equal to a squared minus 2ab plus b squared. You could solve this by binomial theorem alone aside if you don't know it, but these are things we took in grade 9, so I'm assuming everyone hopefully still remembers them. Anyways, so we can replace our values into this. So 2x minus 3x squared all squared, so it's equal to a squared, which is 2x squared, which is 4x squared, minus 2ab. So 2ab would be 2 times 2 minus 2ab. Yeah. So our value in a is 2 and our value in b is negative 3. So 2 times negative 3. By the way, you do have to add the x's in with you. So it's 2 times negative 3 would be 4 and 12. So minus 12x cubed. But here we already have a minus, so it's plus 12x cubed. And plus b squared would be just plus 9x plus 9x to the power of 4, because something squared, 2 exponent 2 squared is just 2 times 2, so 4. So now we know that this is equal to 4x squared. Oh wait, we have to take into consideration we have the combination we're gonna multiply with. Now 4c2, if you do it onto your calculator, you're gonna get 6. 4c2 is 6 into 4x squared plus 12x cubed plus 9x to the power of 4, which will equal, after you distribute, 24x squared minus 72 x power 3 plus 54 x power 4. Wait. Oh my bad, guys. Whenever you're doing this equation, you don't take the sign of 3. You don't count it, because you counted it when putting it in the equation. So it's negative 12. Sorry for the mistake. Like, I just realized when solving. So now you have negative 72. Yeah, so now this is correct. Now, oops, my bad. Now we need to do for combination 3, which is into 2x minus 3x squared all cubed. Now this is equal to, let me remove this, a, it's minus b cubed. This is equal to a cubed minus 3a squared b plus 3ab squared minus b cubed. Again, you could either memorize the formulas, or in times of doubt, let's say you forgot the formula, just apply binomial rule to that thing. Like, you take this binomial rule and you apply it to the letters a and b to get the equation. It's fine. Or, by the way, you could just apply binomial rule straight up to 2x minus 3. You'll get the same thing. I just want to save time. And for combination 3 is gonna be 4 into, we're gonna need to distribute our values, so 2x all cubed minus 3 into 2x squared into 3x squared plus 3 into 2x into 3x squared minus 3x squared all cubed. Anyways, when you do that down on a paper, you're gonna get it is 8x cubed minus 36x4 plus 54x5 minus 27x6. And this is supposed to be closed brackets there. Now you need to distribute the 4 into all of this. This question is really long to solve, so I doubt they're gonna get anything like it, also it's not included. So it's 3x cubed, actually I need more space, 32x cubed minus 144x power 4 plus 216x power 5 minus 108x power 6. And now last one for combination 4. I'm gonna do here. For combination 4 is 1 into 2x minus 3x squared all power 4. For this one, apply binomial theorem for it. Unless you memorize that it is 1/4 like it's the same equation, but it's the coefficients would be 1, 4, 6, 6, 4, 1. But just apply binomial theorem here. So actually, when you apply binomial theorem to, so honestly just memorize at this point. A plus, A minus B all to the power of 4 would equal to A power 4 minus 4A 3B, then plus 4 plus 6 A2 B2 minus minus 4A B cubed plus B to the power of 4. Now we're gonna substitute our values into that. I'm just gonna tell you what it is because it's gonna take really long if I do. 16x power 4 minus 96x to the power of 5 plus 216x power 6 minus 216x power 7 plus 81x power 8. Now look, you're gonna say, okay, what are we gonna do with all these values? First of all, there's a line between these two. These are two different answers. You're gonna say, what are we gonna do with all these values? Listen, right, I wrote all them, but doesn't mean we actually need to use all of them. My bad. It's because, look, we only have the one with no coefficient. We only have x squared, and x cubed. So we're gonna take all the constant terms. The only constant term we have here is 1. So 1. We're gonna take all the terms with x in it. The terms we have with only x are 8x, and that's it. Because look, we don't have any other constant terms. We're looking at these answers, by the way, the ones after distribution, the ones here and here. These answers. This isn't minus, by the way. I'm pointing at it, So 8x is the only term we have with x. Now x squared, look at the terms we have with x squared. We have negative 12x squared. We have plus 24x squared. This is not, like I said, again, pointing to it, not minus. Plus 24x squared. And these are the only two values we have with x squared in them. And then we take our x cubed values. X cubed values would be negative 72 x cubed plus 32 x cubed, and these are our only two x cubed values. If you look for them, there's only two. There's a 32 here and the negative 72 in here. So we only need these because our equation goes up to only x cubed. So now 1 plus 8x. Now we need to actually add these. So it is plus 12x squared. Now the like terms with plus negative 72. Okay, so it's minus 40x cubed. And this is our final answer. And you have to add plus ... because we have way more. It expands to more, but they only want these. So that's it for this question. Let us move on because that took 14 minutes. Okay, so for this question, it's just showing us the equation I showed you in the last question. Now to do this, you need to know binomial theorem or Pascal's triangle, but Pascal's triangle isn't included, but this question is. So if you know Pascal's triangle, I'm not gonna explain it because it's not really a reliable way of knowing it. It's just a trick to use. It's like the triangle of the exponent. So it's 1, then you have 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, then you have 1, 3, 3, 1, then 1, 4, 6, 4, 1, which is basically, by the way, you adding these two values to get this one, these two values to get this one, and these two values to get this one, and these two values to get this one, and just adding 1 and 1 at the end of each side. That's Pascal's triangle. This is when your exponent is 1, this is when your exponent is 2, 3, 4, and like if it were to be 5, let's see, 5, then here 10, then here 10, then here 5, then here 1. So that's just Pascal's triangle. So that, it's nice to use if you know it. If you don't, it's fine, because we could solve it with binomial theorem. So this is basically 4C0. The coefficient of this is 4C0. Coefficient of this is 4C1. The coefficient of this would be 4C2. So 4C2 is 6. And now, look at the exponents. When you do the exponents, look. If it was here 4, 3, A3B, here it would be 4AB3. They alternate. And especially here, you can apply this because there is no coefficients of A and B. It's just A and B. Their coefficient is 1. When their coefficient is 1, you can apply this. Moving on. In expanded form, solve this. They really do want to test our patience. So anyways, let's start. We have our A and our B value. So it is sigma of 5 starting k equals 0 of 5 combination k into 2 to the power of 5 minus k into negative kx squared to the power of 5. No, to the power of k, my bad. So let's begin. 5C0 is 2 to the power of 5 minus k would be 2 to the power of 5. No, 2 to the power of 5, yeah. 32 times negative x to the power of 0 is just 1. And 5C0 is 1. So our answer is 32. Now, 5C1 times 2 to the power of 4 times negative x squared to the power of 1, which is negative x squared. I'm gonna write x's like this now because we need to distinguish between them. So 5C1 is 5 times 2 to the power of 4 is 16 times negative x squared. So it's basically 5 times 16. 16 is 80, and we need to make it negative 80 because we have negative x squared. So it's negative 80 x cubed. No, it's x squared actually. This is times, by the way. I mixed myself up, see? This is why we need to distinguish between x and whatever. So it's negative 80x squared. Now, I'm actually gonna start like writing the equation in blue and then the solving in Arabic, in red, sorry, show Arabic. 5C2 times 3 to the power of 3 times negative x power 2 to the power of 2, which is 5C2 would be 10, I think, but let me check. 5 shift divide 2 is 10 times 2 to the power of 3 is 8 times negative x power 4. So basically it is negative x to the power of 4, by the way, is a positive number. So because the 4, this makes the x positive, so it becomes positive, which is plus 80x4. Now 5C3 into 2x squared and x negative x squared cubed. You're gonna say, how is the x negative if there's a squared sign? The squared here, if it was negative x in brackets squared, then there would be no negative. But since it's negative then x squared, there is still a negative and you have to take this exponent. So this is the next one. It is 5c3 would be, again 10 times 4 times negative x to the power of 5. So it is, x to the power of 6, my bad, because 2 times 3. I was like, something's wrong. So anyway, so it's equals minus 46 x to the power of 6. Now 5c4 into 2 into negative x squared to the power of 4, which again, because it's power of 4, it will become negative, or power 6, it will become negative, because 5c4 would be, I think, 5. Yeah, 5c4 is 5 times 2 times negative, or positive, because negative to the power of 6, so it's positive x power 6, which is 10 power 6. Again, not 6, 8, because we need to multiply them. I'm very much mixing up. 10 x power 8. And now for 5c5. No, I'm actually dumb, because I went and took everything off. So anyways, I'm just gonna write down 5c0, it was equal to 32. 5c1 was equal to negative 80 x squared. 5c2 was equal to 80 x to the power of 4. 5c3, I was gonna change the color and end up deleting everything, equal negative 40 x power 6. And now 5c4 was equal to 10 x 8. And now we were solving 5c5, which is equal to, times 2 to the power of, so it's 2 to the power of 0, which is 1, times negative x squared to the power of 5, which is just negative x to the power of 10. So now we have all our values. You're gonna say, okay, so we should just put them in order. But here, since the x term was second, we were supposed to put it in this order, but they want it as if they had put x in term A. So it's the exact same thing, you solve it the exact same thing, but except now you need to put the answer starting from 5c5 backwards. You need to do this. So it's negative x, because only to match their layout. So negative x power 10 plus 10x to the power of 8. Now minus 40 x power 6 plus 80x power 4 minus 80x squared plus 32. And that's it for this question. Now let's move on to our next. Okay, so I'm gonna go a little bit faster because we can't keep having this video for 2 hours. What is the coefficient of x to the power of 5 in this expansion? Now, x to the power of 5. Now, in the AMS video, I told you guys a rule that if you have x power 5 and you want the coefficient of this term, you need to see, is x in A or is x in B? If x is in A, then you need to do the exponent, which is 7, minus x, the coefficient of x, the exponent of x they want, and that is equal to 2. and that is your k. K equals 2. But if the x to the power of 5 was in B, if x was in B, then it is straight up just the coefficient, and k would equal 5. So here you have x and a. So it is the first case, so k equals 2. And now we just solve with k equaling to 2. So 7 c2 into 2x power 7 minus 2, which is 5, into negative 1 over 4 to the power of k, which is 2. So we have 7c2, which is equal to 21, times 2x power 5 times negative 0.25 squared. Put this all into your calculator. You should get, times negative 1 over 4 all squared. Please put the brackets around the negative 1 over 4 when solving, because you will get a different answer if you do not. And that is equal to 42 x5. And now if this were written, this is a wrong answer. Why? You need to say the coefficient is 42 only. Now, moving on to the next question. What is the coefficient in the x10 term? Now here it's the exact same thing, but in this case we have x in both a and b. So what do we do now? We need to kind of like balance the x's between the two. So this is what we do. We take the x in a, so x to the power of 4. Now, wait, let me write the equation. So it's 5 k, and then into x4 k minus 5 minus k into negative 3 over x to the power of just k. Now here there's a trick, because we have, like I said, x in both. Now we need to kind of balance the x's to make x equals 10. So we forget every single number we have and we look at only the x. So here it's x to the power of 4 in times 5 minus k, and here it's 1 over x, which is basically, so plus x to the power of negative 1 times k, so power negative k. We want them to equal to x power 10. So 4 into 5 minus k equals 10. Now 20 minus 4k minus k equals 10. Long story short, k equals 5. So now in this equation we substitute where k is 5. So 5 c5. Wait, is it 5? Wait, no, it's not 5. It's negative 5k equals negative 10. K is 2, my bad. So k is 2. 5c2, which is 10, times x to the power of 4 to the power of 5 minus 2, which is 3, times negative 3 to the power over x to the power of k, which is 2. So 10 times x to the power of 12 times minus 3 squared is 9 over x squared. Now so x12 minus x2, you remove this x2 and this becomes x10. So 10 times 9 now is 90, x to the power of 10. Do we have a term in x10? Yes. Do we have a coefficient? Yes, that coefficient is 90. Moving on. Now this question, what whole number is equal to this? Now for these types of questions, again, in the periodic written on the paper, we are not allowed to get a scientific calculator with integrals. But most times, I know from previous grades, they don't check until we actually start taking integration. Since they might not check, if I were you, I would get, if you have an integral and a non-integral calculator, by the way, you do really need one, because soon they will start giving cheating codes for people who don't have it, or they might not let you use a calculator at all for the entire math exam. So you really need to get one. So let's say if you have an integral and a non-integral calculator, what I would do is get both with me. If they check for your calculators if they're integral or not, use the normal one. If they do not check, use the integral one for these types of questions, because the sigma button on the integral is very helpful and it saves a lot of time. So let's say they checked and we need to solve it without the calculator. It's very easy. So what we do is, first let me write it down. 2i into I plus 1. Now first I would distribute the 2i into the I plus 1. So it would be 2i squared plus 2i. Now, whenever you see this, you could separate it. What does that mean? You could make it become 6(1) of 2i squared plus 6(1) of 2i. And whenever you see this, you could even simplify it even more to become 2. You could take the 2 out because 2 is a constant term. 6(1) of I squared plus 2 of 6(1) of I. Now we can take this and solve it, because this is way easier to solve. Now we have 2 into, whenever you see sigma of anything, 6 in this case, to I squared, there's an equation. The equation is, we're gonna write n here for like the sake of the equation. It is n into n plus 1 into 2n plus 1 over 6. And the same for I. For I, it would be, we also have an equation which is n into n plus 1 over 2. So we just use these equations and apply them. So we have 2 of I squared now. 2 times I squared. I squared we said is n, which is 6 into 6 plus 1 into 2 times 6 plus 1 all over 6. You could put that onto your calculator. So it is, wait, so 6 times 7 times 13 over 6 is 91. So 2 times 91 plus, you do the same with the 2i. Now for I, it's way easier because it is 6 into 7, which is 6 plus 1, all over 2. 6 into 7 is 42. 42 divided by 2 is 21, so it's 2 into 21. And just put this equation to your calculator, you're gonna get 224. And that is it. Moving on to our next question. So far, these questions are all included. So far, we only had one not included question, which was the first one. And yeah, so now let's solve this one. What's the coefficient of the x to the power of 5 term in this expansion? We already solved the question like this, so I'm going to solve it very fast. First of all, check where is x. X is in the a value, so k equals the coefficient minus the coefficient needed, so it's always equal to 2. So now we just solve for the second term. So 7c2 into x to the power of k minus 2, n minus k, and k is 2, so 7 minus 2 and minus 2 to the power of k is minus 2 to the power of 2. 7c2 would be, I said 21 I think, but let me check. 7c2 is 21 into x power 5 into 4. 21 times 4 is gonna be 84. X power 5 coefficient is 84. Let us move on. Now, okay, this question is not required for the week 3 periodic. It is required for future periodics. So let's solve it. Now, here we have n is a rational number. Now, when n is a rational number, we deal with it differently. How do we deal with it? So we have a rule to solve it. To solve anything combination with a non-rational number, we take that number and we factorial it. By the way, if you put it as a factorial on your calculator, you're gonna get an error because you can't do it on a calculator. Over 3 factorial. When you have it over 3 factorial means you factor it out to only 3 values. So it's negative 3 over 4 into negative 3 over 4 minus 1 into negative 3 over 4 minus 2, and that is it. 3 factorial equals 6. Now you put this into your calculator, it will work. Let us see what it gives us. It should give us negative 77 over 128, but I'm gonna make sure and check on my calculator. So negative 3 over 4 into negative 3 over 4 minus 1 into negative 3 over 4 minus 2 all over 6, and we got negative 77 over 128. Now again, really quick, what we did is when you see a rational number up, you just have to put it as a factorial over a number which is the k. Well, for however many values of k you have, you put. So if you had 4 down here, you would add negative 3 over 4 power minus 3. You'd have to continue. Since we only had 3 factorial in the bottom, you only factored out 3 terms. To factor it out, you just minus 1 each time. And then you put all of this onto your calculator. At the bottom, you were supposed to put 3 factorial onto your calculator, but 3 factorial is 6, so I just simplified it, and they will give you the answer. This is not required for the Monday's periodic, though, of week 3. Moving on. Using the first 3 terms of the binomial expansion, one obtains... Okay, this is also not required, so you can skip over this if you want. But I'm still gonna solve it. So using the first 3 terms of this binomial expansion. Now, when you see an expansion like this, 27 plus 18 under all the cube radical, or third root, or third radical, doesn't matter. This entire thing means the radical cube means to the power of 1/3. It's the same thing. These two are the same thing. These two are equal. They're the same. So now when we want to do binomial expansion of a what's it called? When you have a rational exponent, we need to make the a value 1. How do we make the a value 1? You factor out the a value, 27. But be careful, because when you factor it out, you need to put it under the radical sign of like 27. You have to factor it out like this. Because if you factor it out normally as like 27 into 1 plus 18x power third, it is wrong. When you factor it out, you have to take it out like this because you took it out of under a radical sign. So 27 to the third root is equal to 3. You put this into your calculator. So now we have 3 into 1 plus 18x over 27 third this. So now we solve for this only. Now the rule for the binomial theorem when you have a rational exponent is a bit different. Why? Because you can't really put combinations of the rational thing on the calculator, so you need to solve them by hand. And the equation is a bit different because the equation is now 1/3 k, combination k, times the b to the power of k. You forget the a value. You ignore that there's an a value because we made it 1. Always you make it 1 and you solve. So it is 18x over 27 third. Now, before solving, we can simplify 18x. Divide it by 9 is 2, and divide this by 9 is 3. Let me just check because 18 over 27 is 2 over 3. Yes. So now we get to solving. Now, we want to obtain something which is using the first 3 terms. By the way, you're only obtaining this answer to approximate a value. So listen. Now let's solve. Let me change the color. Okay. So you have third combination 0 into 2x over 3. This is k. I don't know why I put third. Power 0. This is all equal to 1 so far. Plus the first 3 terms is literally the first 3 terms only. Like, you don't have to do till k is 3. Plus now 1 on the bottom and 2x power 3 over 3 power 1, which is basically 1/3 times 2x over 3, which is 2 over 9x. Now third term would be plus third combination 2 into 2x over 3 squared. Now third combination 2 we need to solve aside. By the way, I told you a few questions ago. Third, now we have 2 factorial in the bottom, so we only factor it out twice. So it's third into third minus 1. And then you put that into your calculator, which is a third times 1/3 minus 1 over 2 factorial, which is basically 2. It is negative 1 over 9. But this is times 2x plus 3. So negative 1/9 into 2x plus 3, 2x over 3 squared. So it is times 4x over 9. So it is negative 4x over 81. And that's our first 3 values. It's 4x squared, isn't it? Yeah, it's 4x squared because you squared it, you have to square the x with it. So it's 4 over 81x squared. Now these are our first 3 terms, correct? Now we need to prove that this is approximate value of this. So we need to see for what x is it approximately 45. So radical 3 27 plus 18 x equals radical 3 45. So we could just take this aside and do 27 plus 18x equals 45, and x we're gonna get it to equal 1. So now we substitute 1 into this equation because it's an approximation. It's approximately 1. Now, oh wait, I forgot a very crucial step, by the way. Now minus x squared. Here we're not done. Why? This is the type of mistake everybody makes in the exam, by the way. We forgot to expand the 3. So it is really 3 plus 6 over 9 minus 12 over 81. This is 81x squared. Now we can put 1 in the equation. This is x. So it's just basically gonna be 3 plus 6 over 9 plus 12 over 81, and all of this. When you put all of that into your calculator, you're gonna get it is equal, it's right here in pink, equals to 95 over 27. Does this match this? Yes. So this is approximately 95 over 27. Our answer is 95. I'm sorry for the board being very messy, but these questions are genuinely very long and we do not have the space to solve them. Moving on. This question, we explained it. Again, you can use if you can use a calculator, please use it. It saves you so much time. If we can't, we solve it. This is the exact same question we solved a bit ago, but they're just different numbers. So when we have sigma 1 of, we can split it up now. We can put each one alone. So 2k squared minus 3k plus, is this plus? Yeah, plus. Now, for whenever you have 2k squared, you can take the 2 out, making it k squared minus, you can take the 3 out, and k here, and here you can't take the 2 out. What do you need to do to take the 2 out? Because you don't have a k value with it. To take it out, you multiply 2 times 20, so it is 40. So this is plus 40. Now we're gonna solve the exact same way we solved the last one. It is 2 into, our n is 20, so 20 into 20 plus 1 for the squared. They gave us the rules here, by the way. 20 plus 1 into 2 times 20 plus 1 over 6 plus 3 times 20, it's n plus 1 into 20 plus 1 all over 2 plus, oh by the way it's minus this, plus 40. Put all of this into your calculator, you should get this answer. I'm not gonna put it because I know it's gonna give me this answer. Moving on to the next question. And let me see if I passed by accidentally by not required question. No, not yet. So far our not required questions are 1, 8, 9. Those are the ones we solved. There's more to come. Now, what's the coefficient in the 1 over x power 3 term in this expansion? Now, whenever we see a fraction with an x at the bottom, we could just bring the x up to make it x to the power of negative 3. They're the same. So again, here we have x both in a and b. So we need to equate. So we leave the entire equation and we look at x only. X in the value of a is gonna have a coefficient of 7, because that's your coefficient, minus k, plus x power negative 1k, because x is in the bottom, bring it up, it's negative 1k, equals x negative 3. 7 minus 2k equals negative 3. K equals 5. Now we substitute 5. So it is 7c5 into x over 3 to the power of 7 minus 5 is 2 into x 3 over x power 5. And now we solve. 7c5 would be, oh, I wrote 7c5, my bad. 7c5 would be 21 also, into x squared over 9 into 3 to the power of 5, which is 3 to the power of 5, which is 243 over x power 5. Now 21 times our answer, which is 243, divided by 9 gives you 567. X squared over x to the power of 5, which you can move x squared to the bottom, so minus 2, which will give you 1 over x cubed. The same as 5, 6, 7, x power negative 3. They're the same thing. Moving on. Okay. What is the constant term in this expansion? Now we need to know the keyword. Constant term means when x is to the power of 0. So again, how do we find something when they want the x to a certain power and you have x in both a and b? We need to equate them. So x squared into k into 6 minus k plus x power negative k equals x power 0. So 12 minus 2k minus k equals 0. 12 minus 3k equals 0. And k equals 4. Now, by the way, they didn't bring a single question about this in the quiz, but if you find k to be an irrational number, so if you find k to be a negative number or a fraction or a decimal, the answer is no constant term. There is no constant term if k is anything but a whole positive number. Moving on, let's solve. So k is 4. So 6c4 into 2x squared power 2, because 6 minus 4, into 1 over x power 4. 6c4 is gonna be 15 into 4x power 4 into 1 over x power 4. 15 times 4 equals 60. Now x4 and x4 will cancel out, so you have no x. So it is a constant term of 60. Moving on to our next question. What is the coefficient of x squared in this binomial expansion? Now this question, not required. I will remind you of the questions that aren't required with us at the end. Now what's the coefficient of x2? You're gonna say, how am I gonna solve it when it's down? Bring it up, because this is the same as 1 plus 5x to the power of negative 2. Now when you have negative 2 as an exponent, you can't just solve it normally. You need to treat it like you treated the fraction. So what do? you want the coefficient of x squared كمان, so this is how you solve. First of all, you ignore 1. We don't look at 1. Oh wait, we only have x in the b. We don't have x in both, sorry. Since we only have x in b, then k is 2. K is 2, we already know that. So now, it's negative 2c2 into 5x power 2. So negative 2c2, we do it negative 2. And we only have 2 as a value at the bottom factorial, so it's 2 factorial. So it's negative 2 minus 1. Sorry. Negative 2 into negative 3 is 6 over 2 is 3. So this is equal to 3 times 25x squared. It is equal to 75x squared. Coefficient would be 75. Now, when solving the second part, we need to write a range where it's valid. So to write the range where it's valid, you just need to see what makes the bottom 0. 1 minus 5x equals 0. Wait, what? It's 1 minus 5x equals 0. So it's gonna be 5x equals negative 5x equals negative 1, x equals 1 over 5. Now, whenever it is a binomial expansion, it's between the negative 1 over 5, and x has to be between the negative and the positive of your value, because it's a binomial expansion. So the k is the 5 in this case, and that's your answer. Let us move on to the next question. What is the coefficient of x squared? And this is the same as the question we just solved, with a bit different. So let's start. This is also not required. So again, here it's a bit different because we need to bring one of the values up. So it is 1 minus x times 1 plus x exponent negative 1. Now, of course, we cannot apply binomial theorem for both of these. For a negative 1. But we only apply it for this value. Why? Because this one doesn't have a power. So this one you just multiply at the end with it. So 1, and we know that x squared, so if it's x squared, then we have to be careful. Because, my bad guys, my mic or video cut. Anyways, let's continue. So like I was saying, you have to distribute this into this, and the k is equal to 2 because of the coefficient being negative 2, and you have the x in the b value where you have the exponent. Anyways, let's solve 1 plus x to the power of negative 1. So 1 plus x negative 1, it's gonna be negative 1, 2 into x power 2. So to solve this, it's again, because you have 2 in the bottom, you only do factor out 2 values. So it's negative 1 and minus 1 minus 1. So negative 1 into negative 2 over 2, which is gonna be, what's it called? Negative 2 over 2, which is 1. So 1 times x squared, which is 1x squared. But that's a common mistake people do. You just stop there. You need to do another value. You need to do till negative 1 c3. You're gonna understand now why in a bit. So c3 is gonna be the same thing. You just do 1 more and factorial, which is negative 1 minus 2, which is negative 3. So you're gonna be left with 2 times negative 3, which is negative 6, over 6, which is equal to negative 1. Now, sorry guys, I don't know why in this question, like, the doorbell rang and I had to go get it. So anyways, I stopped where, okay, so here we know that we found that 1 or negative 1. So it's 1 minus x plus, wait, couldn't we just do it? No, we can't, because we need to find it for more than this values. So it's 1 minus x plus x squared plus, so this is for x0, this is for x1, this is for x2. And let's find it for when it's 3, like one more value. So it's negative 1 times x3, so it's negative x power 3. Okay, let's stop there. Now we need to distribute the 1 minus x into 1 minus x plus x squared minus x cubed plus dot dot dot, but we're not gonna do it with dot dot dot. So we're just gonna 1 minus x plus x squared minus x cubed into, or minus, now we distribute the x, so it's x minus x squared plus x cubed minus x power 4. I'm gonna delete this. Anyways, so now 1 stays 1. Minus x. Minus x is minus 2x. Plus x squared. Plus x squared is plus 2x squared. Minus x cubed. Minus x cubed is 0. And we have only minus x4, and that is it. So our value in the coefficient of the x squared value is 2. And that's it. Now we can remove all of this. Now to solve this, again, like I said, you need to look at the denominator. 1 plus x equals 0. So x equals negative 1. And like I told you, you write 1y because it's the x has to be between the range of the positive and the negative value of this answer. So it has to be between 1 and negative 1. So that's your answer. Thankfully, we can move on from this question. Okay, so in this question, it's really easy. Moving on, this one is required. So how do you approximate the value of this plus the first term is 1 and the fourth term is 0.00008? Now, how do we do this? We need to separate this into a binomial, like two different values. So how do you do that? It's 1 plus 0.02 all power 6. That's it. Now, to solve this, we can usually ignore the 1 because 1 to the power of anything is 1. So to solve it, it is 6 combination. They want to the fourth term. They want the fourth term. So when we say fourth term, whenever you hear the word something term, you do minus 1. But if they tell you x to the power 4, this is the fifth term. But when they say fourth term, it's x to the power of 3. Or it's 1, yeah. So fourth term would be 6, 3, power of 0.02 to the power of 3. 0.02 to the power of 3 is 0.1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8. And that is it. And now we need to multiply it by 6c3. 6c3 is 20, if I'm not wrong. And yes, it is 20. And so A is 20. That is it. This is probably the easiest question. Moving on. This question is also very easy. Using sigma notation, this can be expressed as this. So first of all, what I'd like to do is I look between the brackets and I start substituting my numbers. So when t is 0, so let's replace it by 0. 2t plus what equals 1 when t is 0. So 2 times 0, 0 plus what equals 1 plus 1. Now, if you're not sure, so our answer here in this box is 1. If you're not sure, we can try it with t equals 1. So when t equals 1, what box equals 3? So 2 plus what equals 3? Box equals 1. That's it. So this is how you find this first box. Now to find the number up here, what do? You do 2t plus 1 equals 101. What is t? So then you do t, 2t equals 100, so t equals 50, and that is your final value in this summation notation, or in the sum, because they didn't add dot 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 here. So we know that this is the final value, so it is found like this, and it is 50. Moving on to our next question. This question is very easy. When they tell you something I squared to the power of 5, what is it? Or like 5 times. It's just you adding the thing 5 times, because it started from 1. Usually it's gonna start from 1. If it ever starts from 0, you need to add an extra value, so it would end at I6, or 6 to the power of 2. So it's 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5 all power 2. That's it. You just repeat the value, adding 1 each time for this number of times. That's it. Now this question, some teachers say it's not required, but it is in the AMS quiz. So I am not sure, because the AMS quiz is supposed to be the material that's for the periodic only. And since it's in the AMS quiz, I'm assuming it's in the periodic, but many teachers say it's not included. So I am not sure. I'm gonna just solve it. So study it in case. Like if I were you, I would study it in case. It's very easy. If it comes, it comes. Great, we studied it. If it doesn't come, even better. Now, let's solve it. So in the simplest form, solve this. Now, to solve this, you just need to expand it. Like just solve the binomial theorem for these two values. So 4C0, I'm gonna solve each one alone because it's confusing if I don't, is 4C0 of negative 3 power 4 into negative 5 power 0, which is just negative 3 power 4, because this is 1 and this is 1, so this is equal to 9. That's it. Now, moving on to the next one, 4C1 into radical 3 power 3 into radical 5 power 1 equals, so put it onto your calculator, you're gonna get it is equal to 12 radical 15. Now 4C2 radical 3 squared radical 5 squared is equal to 4C2 is, I forgot, so 4C2 is 6 times 3 times 5, 6 times 15 is 90 if I'm not wrong, and yes, it is 90. And 4C3 to the power times radical 3 to the power of 1 times radical 5 to the power of 3 is basically 4 times radical 3 times, it is 20 radical 15. And 4C4 times negative radical 3 to the power of 0 times negative 5 power 4 is just equal to 25. So now we can write our first term. So it is 9 plus 12 radical 15 plus 90 plus 20 radical 15 plus 25. Now to solve the second one, many people will just resolve it again, which isn't wrong to do, but it's a waste of time. Why? Because I'm just writing this again here because I need the space. Because whenever you have negative, the second one negative, it's always alternating the negative sign. So let me show you what I mean. When you have a negative second value, you alternate the negative sign, as in, I'm just gonna write now minus. So it is now 9 minus 12 radical 15 plus 90 minus 20 radical 15 plus 25. So it's just the same thing, it's plus minus plus minus plus minus and so on. So since now we need to just solve, 9 minus 9 is 0. 12 minus 12 radical 15 is plus 24 radical 15. 90 minus 90 is 0. 20 radical 15 minus 20 radical 15, minus and minus make plus. So it is plus 40 radical 15. And 25 minus 25 is 0. So now add the terms that aren't 0, which is basically 24 radical 15 plus 40 radical 15. That will equal 64 radical 15, which is our answer. And that is it. Let us move on to the last question, which is not required, I think. Yes, it is not required. So, not required. And yeah, so what is the coefficient of x cubed in this binomial expansion? So, write your answer as a fraction in lowest term. So we know our answer is going to be fraction. So you just do the same we've been doing for every single one of these. And if the coefficient is x3 and you have it in b, then our k equals 3. So we're going to solve 1 over 4 for k equals 3 of 4x to the power of 3. And now 1 over 4 times 1 over 4 minus 1 and 1 over 4 minus 2, because you have 3 at the bottom, all over 3 factorial. Solve it on your calculator. You will get, let's see what we will get, 1 over 4 times 1 over 4 minus 1 into 1 over 4 minus 2 all over 3 factorial, which is 7 over 128. I feel like it's a wrong number, but sure, we'll go on with that. We'll go with that. So 7 over 128 times 4 to the power of 3. Yeah, no, it's not wrong. It's 64x cubed. So times 64 will give us 7 over 2 x cubed. So our coefficient is 7 over 2. Now the binomial expansion, if this is valid for, again, this, you're gonna say, why would it be invalid? Because 1 over 4 is the same as saying 1 over 1 plus 4x power 4. This is the same thing. So you can't have 0 in the denominator. So what makes 1 plus 4x equal 0? It is 1 over 4, right? Or negative 1 over 4. But since you have to have it between the positive and negative value, it's just 1 over 4. Here they gave us the 1 over, and you just need to fill in the 4. And that's it for this course practice. Hope you understood everything. I know it is very long, but it's like for the exam. So hope you understood everything. Have a great day. Bye.